you can dump toxins that have been stored for quite a while, and you can overload your system and have what's called a Herxmeyer effect, a healing crisis. So with this technology, and in our culture today, more, bigger, better, faster is the best, does not apply here. Sometimes, especially if somebody is an athlete and they are typically very fit and their electrical charge is pretty good, they won't have a lot of toxins. They can probably tolerate a little more intensity and a little longer period of time. Somebody who has been more sedentary, maybe not so much. Waveforms, frequency of waves, and intensity of the field. NASA did quite a landmark study in the early 70s. And the reason that NASA was doing the study, remember I mentioned the first cosmonaut went into orbit and came back and all these problems. It didn't take very long before they developed systems so that a cosmonaut or an astronaut could stay in space longer. And the way that that happens is they fit the spacecraft with devices that create a pulsating electromagnetic field, amongst other things, but that's one of the key things that had to be put in place. Research into that was done, and so this was a commissioned report for NASA where they looked at different waveforms, so different pulsating electromagnetic fields. You can create a sine wave, which is very smooth and you can have a benefit from that, from a pulsating electromagnetic field perspective. You can create triple sawtooth waveforms. You can create square waveforms. And what they found was square waveforms are really, really effective at stimulating the human organism to heal. The healing process is stimulated most easily with a square waveform. Triple sawtooth waveform, you can put a lot of information in there. You can put a lot of different frequencies, superimpose them on top of one another, and supply the human body with a lot of information that it needs to operate. So there are different waveforms. There are different intensities where bones, ligaments, tendons, tissue heal at different frequencies. So the system that we have, the system that is here, this is a square wave that is produced by this mat. There's also two little spots that you can use to put over top of a joint or an elbow or a shoulder or over your head. They're square wave. They're intended for a localized application, whereas the full body mat is triple sawtooth and it's more of an overall application for wellness. And typically you would use the whole body mat, and then if you wanted to focus on a certain area, then you would use the square wave.